All right. Hi, good evening. I'm Jen Rosen, and I'm going to be hosting tonight about our health opportunity with you with Purium. And I'm going to share some slides with you. I find that keeps me on track. I am a talker. I could literally talk about Purium and regenerative health for hours. So it's really for me, not for you, but it's also enjoyable because it's, pretty slides. So I'm going to share my slides with you. And then if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and then I can get to those at the end of my presentation. All right, I'm going to just share my screen here and present my thing here. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so you are here because someone cares deeply about you and your health. And I was shared this information over 2 years ago, and I'm so incredibly grateful. If I think about it for too long, I could cry, but I'll save you my waterworks for another day. But just a little bit about me. I'm Jen Rosen. I am a regenerative health practitioner and coach. I'm also a luxury wedding planner. And among many other things, I'm a mom and a wife and a stepmom and all these other titles. But today I am putting my practitioner hat on for you and would love to just tell you a little bit background about myself. Most people's stories, right, getting into health and wellness usually has something to do with they themselves went through something. And that is the case with me. So when I first was introduced to Purium, I was dealing with all kinds of ailments in my body. The biggest ones that were glaring was chronic nerve pain and an autoimmune disorder that left me completely almost disabled at times. I remember many times where I was afraid to roll over in bed or take a walk or stand up in certain places because I would get shooting nerve pain in my leg. And so much so that would just like stop my heart, and I would have to stop what I was doing and go and, put my foot up or ice my back or, wrap my foot in heat, and just no way to live my life. And it was wrecking my relationships. My kids were suffering. My family was suffering. I was suffering. I was in that fight or flight mode. And when I was in my 20s, I had dealt with all kinds of different issues with IBS symptoms and weight gain. Weight gain was the biggest one for me. I fluctuated like 80 pounds in my 20s. I dealt with, 5 years of infertility. I mean, I feel like you name it, I had it, skin conditions and all kinds of stuff. And so it sent me down a path of searching for about 6 years. I really searched for the answer. I went to chiropractors, I went to Ralphers, I went to Western medicine, I went to all different kinds of modalities and never found the answer that helped me get to the root cause. And now, I'm going to say things like regenerative health, and regenerative health just means getting to the root cause. Most people and clients that I talk to want to get to the root cause. And that is a very important question to ask yourself. Are you here because you want a Band-Aid fix? Something to just take to fix something quickly? We have that 30-day reset, totally good. But if you really want to stick with this for a lifestyle change, that can help you get to the root cause of the ailments that you're dealing with in your body. So I'm going to continue with my slides here to stay on track, but I'll tell you kind of how things worked out in my body in a little bit, but I want to talk to you about Purium. So Purium means pure and premium, and we are a regenerative farm. We are farm to family company. We have been around for over 30 years. And 28 years as like a distributor. We also are, what I love is that we are the manufacturer. So Purium trucks come to our farms and pick up our product, brings it back to our building. There's no cross-contamination. What we are is just food. And that is just so spectacular because I have tried so many different things in my life. I've tried pills, I've tried shots, I've tried things boxed up for me, food boxed up for me, all kinds of different nutrition things. And I'm assuming that many of you have also tried those things with maybe short-term help, but not long-term gain. So that's why you're here, right? Usually people who are here are dealing with some kind of ailment in the body, whether it's, brain fog or leaky gut syndrome or IBS symptoms, or maybe you have a disease that you were just diagnosed with or dealing with currently. Whatever you're here for, we see you, I see you, and I can deeply resonate with trying to find the answer. And so we're here just to show you a solution and provide you with our solution. And what I loved about Purium when I first heard it was the biggest difference between us and anybody else out on the market is our philosophy, our mission in life. And that is to really end human suffering and to bring more organic whole foods into the American family. And that really was the real deal for me. I was like, okay, this is not somebody just trying to sell me some weird shake thing that doesn't really work. I was like, I just need the nutrition in my body. I knew something was off. I could tell my gut was out of whack. I had tons of inflammation, which is crazy because I thought I ate healthy at the time. So with Purium, we adhere to that farm to family philosophy. It's grown in our farms, it's shipped to our manufacturer, and then we ship it directly to you. And we have the highest quality of superfoods. Actually, it's kind of shocking Americans right now. Only 10% admit to eating fruits and vegetables in their daily life. And of that 10%, only 1% is organic. And then even a smaller percentage of that is superfoods, like 0.03%. And so we have the hardest to find superfoods that you just cannot buy out at the grocery store. And our food is also better than grocery store food because we don't know where those apples are being grown from. Even a co-op, they're having to wait for the distributor, the farm, to ship it to them. And then it's sitting in the back for a couple of weeks and then it's getting out to you. And this is why you'll go to the grocery store and then in like a day or two, things are going moldy because they've been picked. They're done. Like they're at their end when you're picking it up from the store. And so we use all live activated sprouted ingredients. Our superfoods are grown, like I said, in regenerative soil. Well, what does that mean? It means that they're not being sprayed. They've never been sprayed with chemical pesticides or toxins. And that's super important because there's this thing called glyphosate. If you're not familiar with it, you can do your own research, but glyphosate is the leading ingredient in Roundup, which is the chemical pesticide that's being sprayed on our farms, on our crops, and all around. You'll see like planes, crop dusting, all of that is chemicals, and those are being sprayed on our food. Okay. And our food, most of our food, if it says conventional, it's being sprayed. And what glyphosate does is it is a neurotoxin and it breaks the tight junctions in our gut lining, creating all kinds of permeation to happen into the lymphatic system. It also creates a mucoid plaque in our belly wall, which obstructs our microvilli from that's where we get our nutrients, where we suck it up in our gut. And it causes brain fog and all kinds of other things. Glyphosate has been linked to cancer and autoimmune disorders and ADHD, and I could go on and on. So it's bad, basically. And then in addition to that, glyphosate actually kills all living things in the soil. So when it is sprayed on the soil, it doesn't just kill the weeds, it kills every living creature in that soil. And so if you think about where we grow our food, it needs to have an ecosystem to breathe life into the food we're eating. So if you think of micro and phytonutrients, that's like our vitamins and our minerals, it needs to come from healthy soil. Otherwise, it's void of nutrients. So there's a lot of words going around in the health field, But this is one that really you need to understand is the micro and phytonutrients is what our bodies are like needing desperately. That's what we are not getting. The amino acids are those simple proteins that our body desperately needs. Actually, amino acids do over 200 different things in our body. And so we are nutrient dense. And I'm proud to say that we also water with natural spring water. We crop rotate, we add back minerals into our soil. We're constantly testing the soil because we believe in real food for real results. And I am a product of that. And so I told you a little bit about my story, that I was dealing with chronic nerve pain and an autoimmune disorder and skin condition and all kinds of things. I was filled with toxins. I was an angry individual. It's funny, I was like an angry, positive person. Have you ever met somebody that you're like, they're so nice, but yet they're so mean? That was me. Like deep down, I am a positive person, but it was like the parasites and the toxins in me were making me toxic. Okay, so I started with our transformation, our 30-day transformation, just 60 superfood meals, and I saw a difference in 6 days. In 6 days, my nerve pain completely subsided and went away. And I started to go on walks with my family. I started to have like that freedom within myself. I stopped having like anxiety around certain tasks or things that I would do that would cause pain in my body. There's just so many other things that I could tell you. It literally just, I started to work with ease. I was happier. I started to shed weight. So within 15 days, I was down like 14 pounds or something like that. It was crazy. In my 30 days, I shed 18 pounds and I felt so satiated and so good in my body. I felt like I was almost like coming back home within myself. And I didn't even realize how quiet my body could be. Like, I don't think it had ever been that quiet. Even in high school, I think I had a lot of tummy issues in high school even. So this is like dating me, but like, 20 years ago. And I just started feeling so amazing. My cells were regenerating. And that's the power of food. That's the power of superfoods in the body. And so what makes us different? It really is our purity and our potency promise. So we talked just briefly about this, but we do have an in-house microbiologist that runs every single ingredient through quarantine. It's a 5-tier quarantine. I've seen it with my own eyes as well. And they scan it to match for our standards of purity. So what that means is like no heavy metals, no GMOs, no pesticides, no herbicides, insecticides, no biocides, no additives, no fillers, no dyes, any of that stuff, no sugars. And we also adhere to more and beyond the USDA organic seal of approval, which simply means that we haven't been spraying any crops with any toxic chemicals within the last 3 years. We are also kosher as well for anyone who needs it to be kosher. And then I just realized my slides still say 2022. I have to change that. Happy New Year for you, for all of those of you who are here. Okay, so I wanted to kind of show you what our products look like. Okay, so the first one I wanted to chat about is the Super Aminos 23. These are life-giving. Like I said, your cells desperately need amino acids. They do over 200 different things in the body and counting. Science has not even been able to figure out how many things amino acids do. Okay, so this is going to the source. Meat is kind of like secondhand amino acids. We are eating that meat to get to the single, simple amino acids that our body can actually absorb. So we're just going straight to the source to give our digestion a little bit of a break so you can get into that cellular regeneration. So those super aminos, and we call them 23 because they absorb right into your stomach lining within 23 minutes. And you get 99.9% of that said protein. So each tablet is around 5 grams of protein, depending on how your body absorbs. So if you think of eating protein, you may be getting 15 to 30% of those amino acids of what you're eating. So this is a huge jump. And most people in the health industry care about protein. Protein is, people put too much emphasis on protein. We really put more emphasis on the micro and phytonutrients. But if someone is wondering how much grams of protein you would be getting if you did do our 30-day reset, it would be somewhere between, again, 75 to 110 grams of protein, again, dependent on your body and how it absorbs the protein. But that is way more than what our bodies actually do need in a day. So it's plenty of protein for our bodies. The next thing is, so the super aminos, what they do that's so amazing is specifically build muscle. And I can tell you, I did not work out in my first 60 days of trying these products, and I was seeing abs. Like, no joke. I was gaining muscle without working out. And that is the power of the super aminos. So they build healthy muscle mass, connectivity, the tissues in your joints. They help bone density, skin collagen support, among many, many other things, healthy hair, all that. So the Power Shake is our number one way to alkalize the body. And so alkalization is super important when you are detoxifying your body. And the Power Shake has all of your micro and phytonutrient needs. It's all of your superfoods and healthy fats. And it's green, but it tastes like apples and berries. It's actually delicious. I care about taste. I'm kind of a foodie. I would call myself a plant-based snob. I love food. I love the taste of food. And when I first tasted this, I was blown away. It was smooth and it was very tasty, sweet. And I was taken back because usually wheatgrass is nasty. We all know it. If you like wheatgrass, good for you. But I do not like the taste of straight up wheatgrass, and wheatgrass is in this. And so I was very hesitant, and it tastes delicious, and it's going to be 95% of everything that you need right there in one glass. It's kind of like if you were drinking 5 to 6 salads in one glass. That's the amount of nutrients that you are adding into your body. All right, and then it is wind dried. So what that means is all of the nutrients are held in the cells of the plant. It's wind dried, so we haven't heated or cooled it. And so when you add back moisture to it, it brings it back to life, and you will need to ingest it in 30 minutes. And then the Biomedic is one of our most popular products. It is our detoxifier. It also is known as our natural probiotic and prebiotic. So when you take this is going to reduce that C-reactive protein in your stomach. It's also going to help slowly start to peel away those biofilms or that mucoid plaque of buildup from glyphosate. And it is clinically proven, it has been tested, and it is amazing. It works wonders. So when you have glyphosate in your system, this is what causes that bloating to occur, that distended belly. After you eat like gluten or a really heavy big meal, you might have a distended stomach. You might also be experiencing brain fog. And most people have pounds of mucoid plaque in their gut lining. I did. And so many of my clients did as well. And it is just part of our system. Glyphosate is in our water, it's in our rain, it's water soluble. This is toxic to our human bodies. And this is the only known that I know of solution that is herbal that can remove this chemical pesticide from our belly wall. And then our apothecary is our healthy sleep support. Cherries. Cherries, cherries, cherries. That's all it is. It's organic, cold pressed cherries. And we have taken the water content out. So it's like a syrup, but it is fabulous. This is what is going to help your body naturally produce the hormone melatonin in the gut to help you fall asleep. It's going to help repair overnight because it's going to get you into that deep, restful sleep. It's going to reduce those free radicals in your body while you sleep as well. And then this is good for pain. So if you take 6 tablespoons, it's equivalent to an ibuprofen. Okay, so the only product I didn't talk about that is in our full reset right here is our Super Cleanse R. And this is an herbal protocol that you would take to get rid of parasites. Parasites are natural. They're in all of us. They clean up our mess. So if you're breathing, if you take your pulse right now and you're breathing, you have them. We all have them. It is natural. You pick them up from being in the dirt, walking around, touching a doorknob, just living, right? If you're breathing, you have them. We just don't want to have a lot of them. And we don't want the bad ones. And so when we eat, a lot of processed foods, meats, cheeses, all kinds of junk food, essentially fried foods, lots of oils, we have a lot of junk in our system and in our belly walls. And these parasites have to clean up the mess. And there's parasites that are in a lot of those foods too. So we're introducing them, and then they're going to grow inside ourselves when we feed them. And so we want to remove them, as many as possible. And so we have this ULT, we call it, or a 30-day reset, where you would take all of these products. It's like 2 superfood meals a day. And then in the middle or at the end, you can add in that Super Cleanse R, and it will get rid of the parasites. I usually tell my clients to follow it up with a second parasite cleanse, because our parasites will lay eggs, and we don't want the babies to hatch. We want to just get rid of them. So I usually suggest 2 months back to back, no matter what. If you are in pain at all, that is a high acid-based system internally, as well as a high parasite load. So we need to defungal, deworm, and detoxify the system to get our bodies back to feeling good. And then in our second really popular pack is for people who do not want to stop working out. They care about their workout routine. And so this is our 30-day cleanse, our ULT plus performance. And I take the performance products daily when I'm working out. There is a pre-workout, which is called Can't Beat This. And you may have heard this before, but beets are amazing for a pre-workout. They bring oxygens to your cells, and they just give you a burst of energy without the jitters, without the caffeine. And I'm obsessed with it. I give it to my husband when he comes home and he needs to do yard work. He's out there for like 5 hours, no joke. And he's 51 and he feels amazing after and can go to bed fine. And so it's an amazing product. Super Xanthan helps reduce that lactic acid in your muscles so you can recover faster. And then the cocoa hydrate, as well as the aloe digest, are recovery drinks. That's something that you can drink throughout the day. Add it to water. It helps with electrolytes. It helps just reduce inflammation internally. And then our MVP Sport is our vegan protein powder, and that helps with building healthy muscle and recovery again after a big workout. So those are our 2 really big packs that are going to be discounted for you. So if you're here, someone has invited you and they have a discount code for you. So it's going to be 25% off those packs. And usually it's over $100 off or more, depending on what you choose. But I also don't want to skip these because it also is important to understand moving forward. So moving forward, when you want to live this healthy lifestyle, you probably have kids or you know of some kids in your life, and we have a great kids support and many different products to offer children. So all of the 4 main products I talked about earlier are in our Epigenius Kids Shake. I personally actually drink this almost daily. I'm obsessed with chocolate. It tastes so good. My kids love it. They drink it daily. And you can have fun with it and make it taste different with different things added to it if you'd like. And then we also have some tinctures, some herbal supports. So our Kids in Focus is great for adrenal health, calming the nerves. So if you have a kiddo that deals with any kind of anxiety or nervousness, or just crazy off the wall attitudes, like out of the ordinary, of course, this will help them just kind of come back to themselves. And it's all herbs, of course. And then the Kids Immune Shield, I love, especially around this time in the winter season, and that helps support their immune function. And then for maintenance, so a lot of people say, well, what happens after I do a cleanse? Well, our maintenance support is amazing because you can still keep feeling good in your body, keep having those healthy habits. And then I would suggest keeping super aminos in your diet as well as biomedic. You're going to be going out to eat and potentially not eating organic every single meal. And so I just suggest taking a biomedic after you eat that meal to reduce the amount of glyphosate that is in your system. And then having one superfood shake a day to keep those antioxidants in your body and those phyto and micronutrients and that healthy fats and superfoods, and then that healthy sleep support. So that's what I suggest for my clients moving forward in a maintenance mode. All right. And then what you get is you get a lot with us. We have developed our own app with a ton of information, over 3 years full of education and tons of information about proper food combining and meals and recipes and ongoing support. And that is valuable, very valuable. You can ask questions in there. It's a great community support. We also have 2 live client support calls a week, Mondays and Wednesday nights. For those of you who are looking for community, want to share your wins, want to talk about health questions as you go through your 30-day transformation, you may have questions. And so this is led by detox specialists and practitioners and coaches, and we can answer those questions for you. And then we also offer bi-weekly Wednesday wellness calls just for educating people on certain topics. And so you can watch out for those, and we post those in the app as well. And then we also have, and we usually are running quarterly group transformations. So this month, we are starting a big January transformation next week. And so whoever brought you here, we can get you connected and plugged into that. And so that's going to be even more help and support, daily support that we are going to be offering. So that's coming up next week. All right. I think I covered everything. And now I would love to open it up for a Q&A. If you are here, thank you so much for coming. And like I said, please reach out to the person who brought you here. They have that discount code for you and can get you started and get you plugged into the right places. But I'd love to, if you guys do have questions, I can answer any health questions you may have. Or if you are here for someone else, you can raise your hand and you can come off mute and ask for them. I'm just reading the chat here. Hi, Lori. Hi, Candace. Hi, Veronique. I know, I love the can't beat this too. Awesome. Yeah, you don't need a nap. I know, right? Once you take the can't beat this, it's great. Awesome. Well, if you don't have any questions, again, thank you so much for coming. And if you do have health questions, feel free to reach out to the person who brought you here and they can get them to me too that way. I hope you guys have a great evening and we'll see you hopefully on our transformation next week. Bye. Have a great night.